Hello, I'm Kristin and welcome to my channel on healing my body and mind through nutrition and exercise. Welcome back if you've been following along, and welcome if you are new. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, like, and follow along. So today I want to talk to you about the link between fruit and anxiety. Can fruit cause anxiety? Now I know that we want a straight answer, but there's no black and white in this situation. Unfortunately, this is what I found in the little bit of research that I was able to do. So direct studies showing a causal link between fruit consumption and heightened anxiety are difficult to find because most research tends to focus on the mental health benefits of fruit. We're always told that there's all these benefits of eating fruit. And so those are the studies that you find. Unfortunately, there aren't many out there seeing if fruit is actually harmful to people. Studies generally show that regular fruit intake is associated with better mental health, including reduced anxiety and depression. For example, research on fruit consumption has highlighted its ability to lower depression and anxiety levels due to nutrient-rich properties. Now, I will give you a little example on what happened to me when I started to reintroduce fruit. So I slowly started to reintroduce fruit one at a time. You can check out those other videos. After I did 100 days of carnivore, I slowly reintroduced a more animal-based diet. I didn't seem to have any issues with avocado or blueberries, but the minute that I introduced pineapple, I got a reaction. I got inflammation here in the hands that woke me up at 4 a.m. I got severe anxiety for 2 days in a row, and I wasn't quite sure if it was the pineapple at first. So I stopped eating any fruit at all for a few weeks, and then I slowly reintroduced pineapple again. And I didn't even need to have that much pineapple when I got the inflammation in my hands and I got anxiety. So I knew that those two were linked. I knew that that was what was triggering my symptoms. And so I know that for me, pineapple causes anxiety and it causes inflammation. Now, it's important to know that every individual may vary, right? What works for me may not work for you. So you might not have any issues with pineapple, or maybe you do. It's something that you would have to take into consideration if you're on a carnivore diet and you wanted to slowly re-implement fruit to see how you react. My suggestion is to implement one at a time. And I usually do this over a course of 2 to 3 days. So I will have, let's say I start off with blueberries. I would do blueberries for 3 days straight to see if I get a reaction. If I don't get a reaction, I move on to the next fruit. If I get a reaction like I did with the pineapple, I stop it all together so that I can kind of reset my body, get rid of those oxalates, get rid of whatever might be triggering my symptoms, and then start again. But I did this with the pineapple because I really wanted to make sure, was it the pineapple or was it just a coincidence? But it happened both times, and it's just not worth it for me to try to eat pineapple again. Now, when I went and I looked up if there is a link between fruits and anxiety on ChatGPT, this is what it told me. Sugar content. Fruits high in natural sugars like bananas, grapes, and tropical fruit can cause a rapid spike in blood sugar. This quick increase in sugar levels can lead to an energy crash, which might cause or worsen feelings of anxiety in people sensitive to blood sugar fluctuations. So I don't know if maybe that's what I have. It could be possible. I have to research more on how do I find out if that is something that affects me. But it does say that research shows that spikes in blood glucose followed by crashes can contribute to mood changes and anxiety. So it's kind of funny that it says that. It linked two articles. They're not really studies, they're articles. I can link them in my description. But it's funny that it says that, but yet when it talks about the direct studies, we really only have studies showing how fruit is better for your mental health benefit, right? So which one is it? I mean, it's so frustrating, and this is why people get frustrated, and this is why that there's this controversy in just in the social media world altogether of nutritionists telling you how eating, I heard the other day, the amount of sugar in the fruit is more than eating a donut. Now, this is information that is out there. People are actually posting this. But I'm going to say, even being on carnivore, being that I don't eat really that much fruit, I'll have a banana here and there or an avocado, that fruit is going to be healthier than eating a donut. So I just think that we need to also kind of note that, kind of put that out there, because I see a lot of nutritionists and influencers trying to make it okay that the donut is okay because it has less sugar than the apple, for example. And okay, let's move on. Histamines. As we know, I have an issue with histamines. Histamines. Some fruits like strawberries and avocados contain histamines to trigger the release of histamines in the body in people with histamine intolerance. This can lead to symptoms like headaches, irritability, and anxiety. So the next time that I reintroduce avocado, I'm going to keep an eye on this because I do know that I have a sensitivity to high histamines like bone broth. I cannot have bone broth without getting severe dryness and itchy eyes. So I don't really get anxiety with the bone broth. I just kind of get like an overall allergy. So I would have to really see how I feel with the avocado when I go and reintroduce foods again later on down the line. Food sensitivities. Some people have sensitivities to certain fruits, which could cause physical discomfort or digestive issues that might exacerbate anxiety. For example, someone with fructose intolerance may feel anxious after eating high fructose fruits like apples or pears. So again, people want to say that we are all human and so we should all eat the same diet. Well, there is no one size fits all. Everybody is different. I really, truly believe this. And it's a controversial conversation with a lot of people because they don't believe that. But here I truly do believe that. Caffeine-like compounds. Some fruits like guava and acai contain small amounts of stimulants or compounds that mimic caffeine, which could increase anxiety in sensitive individuals. So this one, I do know that there are many people who maybe drink coffee and then when they get off coffee, it really helps with their anxiety. That is one thing that I haven't truly stopped on the carnivore diet. I did keep coffee in my diet, maybe and not right in the beginning, but shortly after I did. And I don't feel like I have a intolerance to it or any type of reaction, but maybe I do. So when I start this Lion Diet Challenge, which I'm going to start on October 1st, I'm not going to have any coffee. And so I will be journaling this and noting this for you guys so that you can see if I actually have an intolerance or a reaction with coffee. So stay tuned for that. So I just think that we need to get more studies out there. I understand having studies to see if it's a benefit for mental health and for anxiety and for depression and things like that, because I think that that's super important to have. And although maybe some people do react differently and get the benefits of reducing stress while eating fruit, there has to be people out there that get the opposite effect. And so I would like to see more studies to see if fruit can actually trigger anxiety in some people. And does that have to do with your glucose and your blood sugars and all of this stuff, right? So if you find a study out there, please link it to me because I was trying to find one and I couldn't quite find it on my end. So please write it in the comments if you do. And I think that we need to start having these studies, whether people like it or not, to really truly see if it's a benefit or if it's not. Just like the carnivore diet, we need to start getting studies out there on the carnivore diet, really understanding what it is, what it does for people, and seeing if it's truly a benefit in the long run. There have been a lot of people who have been on the carnivore diet for 5, 7, 10 years. I have seen a few people say that they've been on a carnivore diet for 30, 40 years. But that's very rare. I don't see that many people saying that. So I would love to see studies on that as well. I hope that this video helped kind of open your eyes to just see that not every study is black and white. It's not really telling you the whole, right? And we need to really just kind of almost experiment on our own bodies to see if it triggers us, to see if it does any changes within our body, because we don't know how it's going to be until you do an elimination diet like the carnivore or the lion diet, and then slowly reintroduce these foods. I would love to know if you went carnivore, how long you've been on carnivore, and if you yourself reintroduced fruits, how did you reintroduce it? Did you see any changes? I know that a lot of people will say that they've reintroduced fruits and they had to just go back because they started to get those sugar cravings. It kind of caused that, where the fruit just wasn't enough. They wanted the bad sugars, the so-called donut that has less sugar than the fruit. And or they just don't feel right because of their glucose, or it spikes their blood sugar and all that. So I would love to hear your thoughts, your journey in the comments, and I hope that you can figure this out, see what works for you, just as I am slowly finding what works for me. I hope that you have a beautiful day, and I will see you again tomorrow.